Restaurants have been doing it, and now the Hazleton Area Public Library and 3 of its branches are offering curbside service. Lisa Sugar gets the details from Library Executive Director Michelle Cushmeter.
It's similar to what the restaurants had to do during the stages of the pandemic, providing a curbside contactless delivery. And we felt we could do this with library materials. Other libraries throughout the state also gave it a try and were successful with it. We have curbside bags that we use. We put them outside on a table and allow patrons to schedule a pickup time, and it's worked very well for us. Um, Patrons can request materials by calling the library. Our staff is here. What we often say is our building is closed, but our library is working and our staff is working to provide services and materials to people. So they can call, they could request online, they fill out a form, and we schedule a pickup time with them.
Now, do I have to be a member of the library to use this service? And so I guess what kind of items can I request?
You would have to be a member of the library. You'd have to have a library card to use this service at this time, because we're not accepting library card applications because that's an in-person process. But if you have a current library card, even if it's slightly expired, we can modify the due date on it until you're able to get back in and renew a card. But you would use your library card. You can call in and request 5 books, 5 DVDs, 5 audio books. We're also offering book bundles for our younger readers. Families can request, because we know that in addition to, 5 materials would go very quickly with kids. And so we've decided to do a book bundle that would have extra picture books in, or chapter books, because we know the kids are avid and get through them, and they'd be done in no time with 5.
I know when we return the books, there's usually a due date and there's a late fee. Does that still stay in effect, or how do I return the books?
If you had returns to make, while we were closed during our shutdown period, we closed March 13th, and we're still not really open to the public, but our book returns are open at all of the locations. Due dates were universally through the Luzerne County Library System. The due dates were extended through June 27th, so no overdues were accruing during that time period. If you check something out now during the book Curbside Pickup, what we would do, it'll have an actual 3-week due date or a 2-week due date in the case of new books. So those would accrue. If they're late, they would accrue overdues. But things that were due back anytime during our closure would not have an overdue fee assessed for them. We are using our book box for returns at all of our locations, and normally it was something we'd say don't return a DVD or an audio book in, because we're afraid that media is vulnerable to the weight of other books. But we are emptying it frequently, and we haven't seen evidence of damage at this point yet. So we're moderating it and just making sure materials are safe, and saying yes, go ahead, return them.
When the items do come back to the library, do you have to sanitize them, or what do you have to do before they go out again?
We do. When materials are returned to the library, our staff empties the book box. We have to check materials out for a period called quarantine, and that's at least a 72-hour period where materials sit here, and then they're checked back in, and they're cleaned and sanitized, and then allowed to be reshelved or recirculated.